It's time now for a look at latest in local news. In the news, the county commissioners meeting once again this morning at 8:30 a.m. as they are in budget work sessions. One held Wednesday afternoon. The talks continue today at the county commissioners meeting room. County Administrator Paul Drawdy in discussions about the upcoming budget. The object, they state, is to cut the fluff out of the budget and take that money and use it to give to employees that the county feel are underpaid compared to other communities around us. Here was Administrator Paul Drawdy addressing commissioners with his vision of the upcoming budget.
Idea of one of the big things I know that y'all wanted to do is to know exactly what our income was and exactly what our expenditures were, so you could make an informed decision. Now, couple that with what I've heard from just about all the commissioners is that we have to address specific salary needs for the employees. So I kind of set those two things up as my goal. Okay, and so getting with Amanda and her and I, talking this out, I don't know how many times. Basically, the idea is to come up with a base expenses with salaries completely taken out of it. Okay, so in other words, her and I would look at exactly what our expenses are for the county government, looking at the 22 of activity, 23 activity, and then going on kind of what we think they should be compared to what's been spent so far and what was spent last year. So then once we come up with that, which was like our base expenses, and the reason I'm using the term base expenses is because we're not talking about salaries, because our thoughts is that the salaries are going to change. They're either going to change from the standpoint that y'all do nothing, which means in 24, employees will get their normal merit-based increase at their anniversary date. Okay? So there is a change there from a number standpoint, but what we wanted to do was take that base expense number and give y'all at least three different options. That first option being just let the employees get their merit increase. That second option being like a merit and a COLA, and then that third option being a merit and a COLA, and then some specific adjustments of specific skill areas that we've all talked about and identified as being very, very low compared to everybody around us and the marketplace that it is now. So, with that in mind, my goal is for us basically to, once we get into this, is go line by line, just the base expenses. When you're going to be looking at y'all's booklets, y'all's books, novels that Amanda put out for you, when y'all look at those, you're not going to see salaries, okay? Because we're not going to deal with salaries. We're going to deal with salaries at the end. All we're dealing with is just nothing but our expenditures that are received by accounts payable Amanda, okay? Then once we go through every department, line by line, and we come to, you're going to see what our number is, but then as we go through those lines, you may go, I don't like that. I want to cut it some more. Or, y'all might have cut too much there. And we want that feedback because, yes, it's our budget presenting to y'all, but y'all, in the end, it's y'all's budget, okay? So, y'all make that determination. We get to the end of this, and it's got that total expenditure number, and then that's when we're going to address those salary options. And it's a matter of you choosing one of those three salary options and saying, and we're going to look at all three. What if we take option one and we stick it on our base expenditures? Now you've got what our total expenditures will be for our 2024 budget. Does that make sense? Yeah. Same thing with option two. We'll look at option two and you go, well, let's look at it. We move it over to our base expenses and we look at, this is what we're going to expend in 2024. We know we have a good idea of what our projected revenues are, so here's what our fund balance is going to be. Because one of the things you're not going to see in the expenditure side for sure, or even in the rear end totals, is any kind of contingency fund. Okay, you're not going to see that number because we don't know what that number is until y'all make a decision on what the salary option is going to be. Once we make that decision, y'all make that decision, we'll move it over and we're going to know what our projected fund balance / I use the term fund balance because I'm just used to being from when I was on the school board. That's what they use, but it's the same thing as contingency. what our contingency fund balance is.
And once again, those comments, County Administrator Paul Jardy, as the budget work sessions have begun. Again, they meet again this morning at 8:30. Jardy says that over $1 million of fluff has been cut from the budget. And again, they want to use that money saved to give to employees who they feel are underpaid. We'll have more from the budget work session on Friday's newscast as the administrator talks about cutting the budget, how the department has been cooperative, and have shown him where the budget can be cut. Again, we'll continue to follow the story as it develops. Commissioners also got an audit report at Wednesday's meeting. They also adjusted the budget to deal with an issue on Elmer Road. The county currently paving the road when they found out that the community water line's in the middle of the road, so they didn't want to pave over that, so they have to move that water line to the right-of-way. Cost around $20,000, and they had to amend the budget to do just that. We'll be back with more news after this word from our sponsor, the commercial messages, so please stay tuned. Other news, Jesup City Commissioners met Tuesday night. A couple items from that meeting. It was announced that the construction of the new pool at the Cracker Williams Center will begin September 25th. They have been given a completion date of April of 2024. That's if all goes well. They say it's a 7-month project to build the pool. Also, the meeting, Commissioners voted 5-1 to allow the county to have use of the annex building at Cracker Williams Park for the purpose of early voting. Commissioner Joe Roddy says he talked with County Chairman Kevin McCreary, who told him that the county had not made any decisions about where early voting will take place, but wanted to have an annex building as a possible option of early voting. Councilwoman Pamela Schuman voted no, saying she wants early voting to continue to be at Hall Richardson Rec Center. She says that the annex building in Cracker Williams is just too small and needs a lot of work, as there are a lot of materials in the building. Schuman says someone would clean it out, and someone would have some expense in order to do just that. Tim Cockfield says the majority of his constituents don't feel comfortable voting at Hall Richardson Recreation Center. He was in favor of allowing the county to have the building at no cost until the end of the year. Once again, that was the motion and the vote 5-1 to allow the county to use the building. Reminder, qualifying for City of Jesup, Odom, and Scrivener elections begins Monday. It runs through Friday of next week. In Odom, the mayor and 5 council seats are up for re-election. And the word in Odom, everyone currently in office is seeking re-election, including Mayor Greg Rozier. 5 council members are currently Greg Leggett, Kathy Rozier, Ron Slitter, Clay Teston, and Kevin Higgins. In Scriven, 3 council seats up for re-election. They are currently held by council members Adam Pruitt, Raquel Wright, and Tony Brinkley. In Jesup, the mayor and 3 council seats up for re-election. Jesup Mayor Ralph Hickok's running for re-election. Seats 1, 4, and 5 up for re-election. In District 1, Perry Morgan, former police chief, a candidate. As incumbent, Shirley Armstrong, not running. District 4 incumbent Stanley Todd says he's not running. And in District 5, Joe Roddy serving out the remainder of Ray House's term, which runs to the end of the year. Joe Roddy states he's not running for re-election. Former city manager Mike Deal says he's a candidate in District 5. And we'll continue to follow the qualifying in all 3 cities. And it takes place all next week, begins Monday, runs through Friday. If you're qualifying in Jesup and Odom, Georgia, you qualify at the probate office here in Jesup. If you're qualifying in Scriven, you qualify at Scriven City Hall. Election date is Tuesday, November the 7th. We'll be back with some final news notes after this word from our sponsor, the commercial messages, so please stay tuned. Final notes and news, Wayne County Chamber of Commerce hosting a business after hours this afternoon from 5 to 7 at the Strand Bistro and Chop House. Chamber members from all businesses are invited to attend the evening networking event to meet new people, enjoy refreshments, and build business relationships in the community. Once again, that's taking place this afternoon between 5 and 7 at the Strand Bistro and Chop House. The community-wide blood drive set for Calvary Baptist Church Gymnasium set for this coming Monday, August 21st from 1 to 6 p.m. To schedule an appointment, they ask you to please visit redcrossblood.org and enter Jesup, and walk-ins will be welcome. That blood drive set for Monday, August 21st, 1 to 6 p.m. at the Calvary Baptist Church Gymnasium, again sponsored by the Jesup Shrine Club Auxiliary. And the Hospice of South Georgia Benefit Market to Midnight featuring the 6 Pete Suits is taking place Saturday, August 26th at the Wayne County Farmers Market, 533 North 1st Street in Jesup. They've got silent auction items, food vendors, dancing. Tickets are $15. If you need more information, contact Kylie McGregor at 912-588-0080. Kylie, our guest today on the Butch and Bob Show, to talk about the big event coming up on Saturday, August the 26th. That's going to do it for latest in local news. Sports comes your way in a few minutes. Bob Morgan, have a great day.